Well, the average person in America has no idea that every year the government gives out, listen to this, $2.9 trillion in grants to individuals and families. Now, what is $1 trillion? I don't know, but $2.9 trillion is an average of $22,618 per family. That's per household in the United States. And most important thing, it's every year. Now, why don't people call up, know about it? Well, because listen to this, 80% of the money is not even called grants. These are called something else, like direct payments or loans you don't have to pay back, and things like that. Or things that are transfer payments or forgiveness stuff. Yeah. And listen, $3 trillion. Man, that's like half the government's budget. And the other thing, too, is that it's not from Washington. The money comes from Washington, but the applications are all local. So that's what you have to know about. And people don't because they think it's somewhere in Washington, some big monster they have to talk to. No. And now listen to this. People think, well, it's all goes to the poor. I'm not eligible for that. Nonsense. In reality, listen to this. Only 12% of the money is given to the poor. Right. The other is it goes to anybody. And now what they call poor isn't what I remember poor being. Actually, it goes up to like $80,000 for a family or $100,000 for a family. And these are people who supposedly have those programs where people are struggling. So you're struggling at $80,000 or $100,000. You just don't realize it. That's why these programs are there for you. And also a lot of misconception is, oh, it's all for minorities. That's nothing. That's nonsense, actually. If you think it's for maybe about 5% is or something like that, man, this is $3 trillion. Yeah. And what happens is if you believe that, then you're missing it. You're missing so much. And actually, if you're a minority and looking for only minority programs, that's crazy too, because you're also eligible for all the other stuff that's not for minorities. So you're missing that, which is the bigger part of the puzzle. And then people say, well, I have to hire a grant writer. That's another stupid idea. Now, unless you're a nonprofit, a big multi-dollar corporation or $1 million corporation, and you're looking for a government grant, then maybe. But for individuals, families, never. Yeah, there's usually 3-4 pages of fill in the blanks, and that's it. That's right. So don't look for a grant writer. Actually, to me, looking for a grant writer, and you haven't even seen the grant yet. You have to see the application. So never even think of a grant writer until you see the application. That's the important thing. Because otherwise, it's sort of like buying a prom dress before you get invited to the prom. So look for the application. If you really need the help, actually, you get to help the offices who give out the money. Also give out help how to apply for it. That's their job. They want to make sure you know how to apply for it. And another thing, too, is you go on the internet and you're looking for grants or something, and somebody, oh, we promise you a grant. Nobody could promise you a grant. You know, not me or anybody else selling you any information about grants. The only one promise you a grant are the people giving out the money. So if you're talking to the people actually writing the checks for you, then you could believe them. If they're not writing the checks for you, you can't believe them, man. They're just another scammer on the internet. And that's what grants does. It creates all these other scammers on the internet. So don't believe anybody who promises you a grant, okay? And don't believe that maybe you just make one phone call and get a grant or one application or whatever. And no, it's all people. And you have to try and try again. If it doesn't work, there's other programs. And see, that's why you don't even rely on one government source. Like if you're looking for rent grants or mortgage grant or utility grant, all those basic kind of things, there's literally dozens and dozens of offices that you can apply to for the same kind of grant, but it's different money. It's to solve the same problem, but it's coming from dozens of different places. That's how confusing this whole stuff is. So the other thing, too, is don't believe when somebody says, no, there's no such thing as a grant for that. They don't have a grant for that. That's all the no is. You know, there's other offices that could have a grant for that. So you can't accept an answer as no. That means you just keep looking. And that's what we do at Let's Go Help, is train people how to do this. And it's the cheapest service ever in the internet. I used to charge $20,000 or maybe at least $5,000 or $10,000 to help fat cats get this. Now I concentrate on average Americans to realize that there's, over $22,000 every year given to people. And our service is only $20, and you can ask us 100 questions if you want. As long as you don't have the money yet, then you keep asking us questions, and we'll keep asking until you get what you need. And that's what we do 24 hours a day. We train people. We have live free training programs every week. We give out our own grants. We even give out $75,000 worth of grants every month just to members. So that's why you got to get out of your head what you think government grants are all about, and let us teach you what they're really about and how you too can get up to $22,000 every year. So solve your financial problems, just like the fat cats do. They come to Washington to get grants to make millions or billions of dollars. That's why helping rich people, what I was helping is helping millionaires become billionaires with government grants. So at least you should be using it to get out of financial trouble and take care of all those financial troubles, or do the things you really want to do. Like start a business, start a nonprofit, buy a house, get an education, anything you want. There's government programs, and I want to help you find them and apply for them and get everything you deserve just because you live in America.